Well, you know what? The wardrobe is very, very significant to us because a lot of people don't know we were homeless for 3.5 years. And in the midst of us being homeless, we were actually, before we were homeless, we were offered a $1 million recording contract to sing secular music. Because we were actually just out and about, just singing about, just doing whatever. They offered us this $1 million recording contract, and God began to deal with us. So we both PKs. He began to deal with us, and we turned it down. In the midst of us turning down the record deal, we didn't know that 3 months later we were going to be homeless. We lost everything that we had. We didn't have anything. We found ourselves living in a beat-up, busted-up hotel room. Sometimes it was maybe $35, $40 a day. Sometimes we couldn't even afford that. And mind you, God has still called us to minister in the ministry. So we were going to churches. The pastor didn't know, the members in the church didn't know that we were homeless. And we would walk in because we didn't have anything. We were going through our little bags before we would go to church trying to find something to put on. So we found a shirt, socks. Sometimes we never had to match. Whatever it was, we put it on. It never went together. And sometimes we would walk into church, we would be embarrassed because people would be whispering and pointing and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes before we even walk into church, we would just cry because we were so ashamed because of what we had on. But one day God just spoke to us and he told us in Immeasurable, I want you to hold your head up high. You go into those churches, it doesn't matter what you have on, it's about the anointing and the message of God that you're carrying. So when people see us, he wants to let everybody know that when they see us, because we wear a lot of colors, mismatched shoes and socks, but we wear this because this is truly our testimony. And God told us to let people know we dress this way because it symbolizes where he brought us from. So that's why we've been actually traveling across the country and not necessarily promoting our album like most artists do, but we're promoting our nonprofit organization called Immeasurable Cares, where we're raising $300,000 so that we can partner with 24 shelters to buy beds and blankets for the shelters, whatever the need is. Because when we were in that situation, we promised God that God, if you bring us out of this, we're going to do everything that we can to go and help those people who don't have a voice, to let people know what they're going through, what they struggle with every day of being homeless, and people just walk by them and ain't nobody trying to help them. So that's where the word question was. Yeah, that's what it stands for.
You have any more questions for the group? Be shy now.
I was just about to say. Be shy.
Don't be shy now.
No question is too crazy either.
So how's the journey been?
Rough. It's been very rough.
I mean, you can imagine, I'm sorry, with us being as different as we are, for one. We walk into a lot of ministries, and the moment we walk in, I mean, you guys can just imagine the looks of it, from the church mothers to pastors sometimes, you know. They'll look at us crazy because we walk in and they're like, oh God, like what are they? Why are they wearing their hair like that? Why are they so colorful? Why are they coming in here with rainbow colors? But our journey has been tough, but I think the most important thing is when you can educate people and give them biblical foundation as to why you look the way that you look, it really brings things together. And when I say that, I mean this. We wear the rainbow because the world has taken the rainbow to mean that of homosexuality. In Genesis 9 and 13, it says that God gave his children and creatures the rainbow. So we wear the rainbow not to tear down anybody, but we wear it just to let people know it really represents the promise of God. And I wear my hair in the mohawk because in ancient times the Indians wore their hair in the mohawk hairstyle to scare off the enemy. So I represent the Joshua generation being bold for Christ because the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but evil spirits in high places. So when people see me, they think, oh, she just wearing a mohawk as a fashion statement. No, it's a kingdom statement because it represents our war for Christ. And that's why it's so important.
I wear my hair in a ponytail because it symbolizes how we as the body of Christ should come to God and how we should read the word, and that's like a child. And when you accept the word of God like a child, you're able to love God more and trust him more. And the more you do that, the more he's able to manifest himself faithfully each and every day of our lives. And this is so important to me because growing up, I was a rebellious child. So mouthy, angry, had attitude. But I wear this proudly because God has changed me. And when I look at myself, every time I look at myself and I see these ponytails, it keeps me humble. It reminds me of that person that I never want to go back to. So that's why when you see the ponytail swinging, I didn't always used to be this way. So that's the reason why.
So our journey and the way that we look and being rejected from church and being rejected from certain people, you know, it's been tough for us. You know, I would never tell someone, oh, it's been easy. It hasn't been an easy road, but I think anything worth fighting. And that's why he gave it to to you for you to make sure that it fulfills the promise that he gave you. And so it has been tough for us, but we've persevered. I mean, going from homelessness to God blessing us with the house and to us telling God, God, we'll never forget where we come from. That's why we love people. That's why we extend arms to people. Like when I meet people, a lot of people look at me funny because I'm a hug. I don't care who you are. You're going to get a hug from me because my job is to share the love of Christ everywhere I go. And if that means hugging you, you just don't know sometimes a hug can break down depression, even in the spirit of a person. So our job is just to share the love of Christ wherever we go and to tell people what he's brought us from. So it's been tough, but God is awesome. God is amazing. And I would not trade the journey we've been through for anything. Even down to the home. If I could do it all over again, I would go through it because it built me to be who we are.
My personality or how I, express myself. And so instead of continuing to do what God was calling me to do, I said, okay, then if what I wear or how I am is offensive to you, then I won't sing. I won't minister. And I found myself out there again, And just to see you guys ministering and accepting the call of God and still being true to who God called y'all to be, that just ministers to me because you see so many people in the church who is called to ministry, but they become what the people want them to become. Right. And your ministry is not effective unless you become who God's called you to be. That's right. And so right now I'm looking like, okay, I'm not singing the praise team. I'm not active in ministry now because I've allowed people's looks and people's shun to say, okay, I don't want to. And so just to see you guys and y'all's who y'all are and to be free. Right. Yes. Wear your ponytails, but you're free. Wear your look like everybody else in the church, but in bondage. Yes. And I just thank God for y'all's testimony. I'm at work, so I'm like, hold back to you. Like, I was just going to back in somewhere and just go completely in, But just, I thank y'all for just being obedient. And it's teaching me, to go back to becoming who God called me to be. So thank y'all.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that because when we hear people say things like this, it gives us that extra push. Because like Ron said, it's been so hard because a lot of times, even with, us being where we are now as far as being up on the charts and different things like that, it's been so rough because a lot of stations and people won't even give us a shot because of how we look. They won't even play the record, don't even want to hear it because of how we look on the outside. And we have a message, especially to the young people, not just the young, but everybody. We have such a strong message, and I believe that's why Satan attacks us so much. Because there's so many people that need to hear our story. It's so many people that need to hear what we went through. Like you said, it's so many people who are just in bondage because they know who God has created them to be. And because of the fear that people have instilled within them, they can't move. They're delayed because of the fear that people place on them. So it's like, okay, God, we fight every single day. When one door is shut, it's like God is opening another door. So I thank God for you sharing that because it just gave me an extra boost to just, regardless of how many times people say no, 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 immeasurable. We're going to keep saying yes, yes, yes because we know God, the ultimate decider is God himself. So I thank God for your testimony. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. The job of the enemy is to stop us from becoming who God's called us to be. And we have to literally fight with that every day. I fight with who God called me to be and what I want to do according to what people say. In the beginning when we started out, people were telling us to change our look. They were telling us, you guys are too different. Church is not going to accept you. And in the beginning, like a lot of churches, like I told y'all, they would not accept us at all. I mean, there were churches that, oh no, we not. They look too hip hop. That's not God and all of that.
But the awesome thing about God is that when He has provided or He's given you something to do, where God guides, He provides. So all you got to do is walk it out. You start walking. It may seem hard. It may seem like ain't no doors opening, but all you got to do is keep walking, and things will start to happen. God will start to place certain people in certain areas for His plan in your life to be fulfilled. All you got to do is walk it out. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to people trying to change you. Be who God's called you to be. We have a song on our album that's going to be released. It's called I'm Free. And in that moment where we had actually written that song, we were going through a time, this is around the homeless as well, and so many people were saying, well, if you guys change how you look, that a lot of things will start happening, and maybe God will open doors for you all. And we got in our hotel room one night, and we just cried, and we was like, God, we're tired of people trying to change us, because this is who you call. God says, I want you all to be free, because when you're free in God, you can move, you can be confident, you can be bold. You don't care when people look at you funny, because you can still continue to love. God's created you a long time. The only reason why you're not where you're supposed to be, because you've been listening to so many people. God says, you hear me when I speak, but because of the fear, because so many people and suppress your dream, God says, much inside you. The vision I've given